Alright, just do a quick check, just make sure we're all set. Perfect. Hello everyone, welcome to PGR League Racing here on F122. I'm your host, Sidonia Muse. Tonight for the third race of our 9th season in PGR, we're here on the beautiful Circuit of the Americas, a track a lot of people, including myself, aren't the biggest fans of, but it should be an exciting race regardless, because it will catch a lot of people off guard. A lot of people struggle a lot here. So maybe we'll finally start to see some huge shifts in the standings going forward in the season. But before we get into things tonight, uh, we are going to have a pre-race interview with one of our drivers. Tonight is also the first sprint race of the season. We're planning on having 6 of them throughout our season. And our first one happens to be tonight at Coda. As you can see there, 10-lap sprint before the 28-lap full-length race. But before all that, we're going to have a pre-race interview with one of our new drivers this week. So we're going to get Wooly in here, who's driving for Aston Martin. And we're going to have a quick chat with him before we get into our one-shot qualifying. Because as with all sprint race weekends for PGR, we always have one-shot qualifyings. Just to set the grid for the sprint. Then we have the sprint, which will set the grid for the full race. So we're just going to wait on Wooly there now. Past 2 weeks, Vodka Victory has claimed the wins at Hungary and Monza. Maybe we'll see a new winner here tonight. Here we go, Wooly. We got Wooly in there. Just make sure your audio is included there, Wooly. Alrighty. Perfect. Alrighty, man. Obviously, I was just saying that you're one of the new guys to the league. You raced with us last week at Monza. How have you felt so far about your fellow racers here in PGR and the league as a whole so far?
Yeah, they're really quick. I didn't expect them to be fa that this fast. I guess it's just a matter of me getting used to the wheel after being on controller for so long. So yeah, it was a good first race in the league.
Yeah, very solid. You finished in 4th. Almost had a podium there at Monza, but still like a great showing overall for your first. I've seen a lot of guys struggle way more than that on their first race out. That's for sure. What do you think has helped you improve? Because obviously you're goated on the controller. You're a great driver on the controller for anyone who doesn't know. But you've had to make the change to the wheel. What do you think has helped you improve the most and achieve the success that you've had so far on the wheel?
Guess it's just been a matter of just using it more often than the controller, because controller you have a lot less feel to the car, and the wheel you can catch the car better,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah.
Yeah. No, as a controller player myself, I definitely I understand where you're coming from wholeheartedly. When it comes to that, yeah, very hard to recover and have good control on the. Funny because controller have good control. You think they'd go hand in hand, but not always the case. Now here tonight we're going into, like I said, here in Texas, Circuit of the Americas, a track, like I said, not a lot of people are big fans of. How do you feel about this track? Is this one of your favorites, or are you not a big fan of this?
I feel like now that I've switched to wheel, it's starting to become one of my favorite tracks. But yeah, on controller, I used to struggle at this track, but as I found, this track's a lot more flowing on controller. Oh no, on wheel. So felt like I can do a lot better at this race than I would on usually controller.
Yeah, yeah, no, I can see that this track got some pretty wild turns, especially coming out of the DRS zone there in the second sector. A lot of people tend to spin out there, so we'll see if that affects anyone here tonight. Now, you can see for your first season here in PGR, you're on Aston Martin currently. How have you felt about that car in particular?
I mean, weird having to drive the Aston Martin, seeing as I drive some different cars in other leagues, but I guess it's just a car, you drive it like any other car you would.
Yeah, fair. Fair enough. But we're getting into things here. Before I let you go, one last question before we head into this. Is there anyone that you're really looking forward to having a good scrap with here tonight? Anyone who's been around like the same pace as you?
I feel like me and Druply could have a pretty good battle like last week. Well, I wasn't really near him last week, but I was close to him. So I hope I can have a better battle with him tonight or today.
Yeah, yeah, man, that'll definitely be super exciting to see you guys going head to head here. A lot of good, like I said, I'm not a big fan of this track either, but it's there are some good wheel to wheel battles that can happen here if people have good racecraft and respect for each other. Could definitely see some of that tonight. But anyways, I'm gonna let you go as we're getting into the one shot
Cheers.
qualifying here. But thank you for joining me, Wooly, for this quick pre-race interview. Appreciate it, and hopefully it goes well for you. That was Wooly, one of our new drivers who's just joined the league. Heading off there now because we're getting into this one-shot qualifying. No brakes, just straight into it. And this will set the grid for our sprint race. 10 seconds, and then we're off. It's going to happen very quick. It's going to be hard to catch everything here. We're just going to try to see who's keeping it together, who's pulling the pace for this one shot. Not even going to get much time to turn stuff on. Firewater had pole here last season in PGR. Definitely someone to watch. You can see coming up the first turn. He's already somewhere in the middle. Pat coming up the first turn. Larry and Vodka pulling the most out of it right now. We're going to hop up to them. See all these guys coming through this first sector. Very reminiscent of Silverstone. Larry falling off the pace a little bit there. Smoke actually pulling up to the top. Oh, now Smoke falling a bit behind. Druply and Vodka up there once again. And Wooly, who we were just talking to that time. Smoke is still up there. Showing really good pace in the Ferrari. He's been struggling at the start of the season, but some real good pace here from Smoke tonight, it looks like. Really killing it. Abrupt falling a bit behind, though. Stony moving his way up in the Alpha. I have to see. A lot of guys looking really quick here. Larry, though, has messed up. He's all the way at the back now. Looks like he'll be starting further down for at least the sprint race. Hopefully he can make the positions back up during the sprint. As you can see here, both Ferraris now holding third and fourth, going into the final sector. Coming out here is where a lot of people can struggle. We see Smoke actually holding it over Vodka victory here now. So we're going to hop on with him for the final couple turns here. See if he can keep it together. And potentially start from the front for the sprint. Let's see, can Smoke do it? 136.8. And yeah, that's going to be it. Looks like Smoke, who has struggled really hard in the previous two races of our season so far, has finally started to lock in on what he can do with his Ferrari and has managed to pull off a great lap, and we'll be starting from the front row with Vodka victory for our sprint race. Great stuff to Smoke there. Only 136 of the one shot. Followed by Vodka, Wooly, and Stony. And not too far behind Stony, Abrupt. So both Ferrari drivers looking real strong here. Remember that it is top 8 get points in the sprint race. So right now that would mean 8th going in the sprint. Slim is the person starting first back, but still in the points positions. But Great Ace and Slingshot are going to be clawing at him just behind. Not to mention Larry starting from the back, and he's going to be wanting to climb up through the ranks as he was showing good pace there. He just must have made a little bit of an error. Only person who DNF'd was Great Ace's teammate on Alpine, J Max. We'll see what he can do as well. New to the league and everything. And as I said before, do not count out Firewater, as he had pole here previously, but then struggled in the race last season. So we'll see what he can do. lot of these guys shooting for their first podium in PGR tonight. Past 2 weeks, we've had Vodka, Abrupt, and Drupally on the podium. So let's see. Let's see what these guys got. But we're going to be having a 10-lap sprint race to set the grid for the full race. I'm assuming the majority of the guys are going to stay out on the mediums for most of the sprint, but you never know. But it looks like we're waiting on someone, so let's just hold on for a moment, folks, and wait to get this sprint race underway. Yeah, and here we go. Looks like we're getting into it here now. Sprint race here at Circuit of the Americas. Obviously, great lap from Smoke, but unfortunately doesn't mean as much as whoever wins this sprint will actually be starting from the front. Here we go, formation lap before the sprint race begins. And let's see, yep, like I said, pretty much everyone going out in the mediums, except for Drupally, who's out in the hards. Maybe hoping that people's mediums will wear out enough that he'll be able to catch them on the hards near the end of the sprint. But if so, he's going to have to drive a pretty clean sprint, if that's his plan. One in 15 drivers here tonight. Looks like we got Larry back again. We had a good showing in Hungary, but, you know, was met with some, you know, got some bad safety car luck. Him and his teammate Gray Bush. Gonna be trying to get some points for Red Bull. Both of them here. Slingshot and Slim gonna continue to try to get points for Mercedes tonight. Keep them competitive in the constructors. But of course, the most exciting of all to watch is gonna be Ferrari. Abrupt has looked insanely strong in the first 2 races of the season. While Smoke's been struggling, but now Smoke's up there with him, so this could be a real fruitful night for Ferrari. Especially with the sprint and everything. We'll have to wait and see. I would not be surprised to see... I'd be very surprised if there wasn't at least one safety car here tonight, let's put it that way. Coda can be a real sketchy track. Especially in this league in particular, a lot of guys have always struggled here. That is for sure. And it's lights out and away we go here at the sprint here at Circuit of the Americas. See who has the better start. Smoke got Vodka on his left. Vodka looks like getting off a bit better than Smoke. Both of them trying to ease into the turn, not trying to make any contact. Vodka does take the lead from Smoke there. Smoke dropping back into the second position. But just behind Vodka. Stoney making a move, getting ahead of Wooly there. Off the start, having a better start than Wooly, moving up into third. As you can see, Larry, right off the gate, has already moved up in the 9th. J-Max and Watchman jumping up 11 to 12. See Grey, Slingshot, and Greybush all falling behind off the start. Whereas J-Max and Watchman had pretty good starts. So they're jumping up 11 to 12. Trying to potentially get points from the sprint. As you can see, Slingshot getting passed up by Larry. Larry already moving up into 8th right off the gate. Not even done the first lap. Larry's already moved up into 8th. Just behind Firewater now. As we can see, Drupally and Wooly going side to side. Both of these guys, just like he mentioned in the interview, wanted to battle with him. And it looks like he has Wooly getting ahead of Drupally once again. But Drupally is still fighting him for it. Also has Abrupt just behind. We now have Vodka and Smoke. We're also tussling again. But Vodka's still pulling ahead of Smoke. But then we have Wooly spinning out, hitting into the wall there. That's going to do some damage to his car. Wooly, it looks like it's going to be pretty rough for him to recover in this sprint race. He's falling all the way behind now after taking all that damage. Crazy to see. Wooly looking real strong there. But he's looks like he's mostly probably going to have to wait for the full race to do some real damage now. That was a pretty bad incident, pretty bad accident there for him spinning out, hitting the wall. See parts of his car flying all over the place. Stoney Stewart now in third, like I said, just behind Smoke and Vodka, waiting to make a move on Smoke potentially in the Alfa Romeo. So we're going to hold on with them and wait, but we can't also count out Firewater, who's just behind Abrupt. Two of them not too far. They're going to be looking to make moves as well. All these guys at the front pretty close right now. Some of the guys in the back have fallen off though. Larry is starting to slowly catch up to the rest of the guys though. Larry is flying. Like I said, started in 14th in the sprint, already moved up to 7th. Crazy stuff from Larry. Now we see Drupally just behind Stoney though. Got a big DRS train going here now. But no DRS. Little flag sector 2. We already have Wooly and Greybush having to pull into the pits for damage reasons, more than likely. Checking in the back there. See this from Firewater's POV here. What's going on? Oh, these guys. So just waiting for someone to mess up or for DRS moves. As you see, Great Ace, who had a really bad start to the race, moves up into 9th just ahead of Doyle. With a solid overtake there. Good stuff to him. Trying to move his way up into the points. Trying to catch up to the rest of the guys. Slim currently, like I said, still in 8th. Holding on to that final points position at the moment. Vodka setting another fastest lap. Here we go, up the hill once more. Can any of these guys catch anyone out here? These guys getting really close. Haas Drupally getting really close to Stoney there, as you can see. From Abrupt's POV. Abrupt also trying to get ahead of Drupally, but now we see that Uncle Larry has also started to catch up to the pack as well. To these guys who are all fighting ahead of him. It's going to be a crazy battle between all these guys. Vodka, Smoke, and Stoney, though, starting to close, or I should say Vodka and Smoke starting to close a gap, though, to the rest of the guys a little bit. Vodka and Smoke, the ones fighting at the front the most right now. But all these guys are still fighting for these other points positions, that's for sure. Larry's caught all the way now, DRS zone, looking to make the move on Firewater. Take another position back. Can he do it though? Him and Firewater going side by side. He makes it, but looks like Firewater wants to take it right back from him. Both of them going wheel to wheel once more. Go around these turns, but then we have the Haas of Drupally spinning out. Two new guys who are both at the front, both spinning out just like that. What of a turn of events. So now everything's gone sideways for both Wooly and Drupally here tonight. But again, this is just a sprint. They'll be able to, even if they don't finish in the points here tonight, in the sprint race. They'll still have the full race to get points. But now everyone's started to space out a little bit in the front. Great Ace has now moved up into points after Drupal's little fall down there. Now Firewater still just behind Larry. Both of them still battling it out. Both of them still 5th and 6th. Vodka and Smoke still super close to one another, but not just barely not close enough for Smoke to be able to actually like make a DRS push on him. Unfortunately, he just needs to get a bit closer. But we are holding out with Firewater here now, who's still trying to make a move on Larry. Here we go. Coming into the DRS zone here now. Both Larry and Firewater wheel to wheel. Both of these same guys had an incident at Hungary in the first race of the season. Firewater turning into Larry. Let's see what happens here now. Both of these guys wheel to wheel once more in the DRS zone. Larry breaks a lot earlier there than Firewater. Firewater trying to take advantage of that, but Larry coming out of the corner much better than him. With a much better exit out of that corner than Firewater, though. But Firewater looking to fight back in the following turns, going into the final sector. As you can see there, Slingshot is now going head-to-head with J-Max there at the back, too. Both of them fighting now. Vodka just setting fastest lap after fastest lap every lap of this sprint race so far. Been a pretty clean sprint race so far here. Firewater low, looking to make another move up the hill on Uncle Larry. Coming around. Takes the inside. Going side by side with Uncle Larry. Slim has now caught up. Due to all this battling that's been going on, Slim has now caught up to Firewater and Uncle Larry. And there we go, Watchman having to pit and receiving some penalties there, it looks like. Looks like he's having a rough sprint as well. Slim, though, is up there, even though Slingshot not having a great start. Slim is up there, like I said, just behind Larry and Firewater right now. At the moment. Like I said, Firewater pretty cleanly getting by Larry there, going up the hill. Nice move from Fire, holding that 5th position. Slim in the DRS zone, but still just a bit too far away to make a move. Hopping on board with Stony Stewart now, who's just behind Smoke once again, but now within that range to where he could potentially make a push on Smoke on the following lap, or potentially even in one of these turns, if he's able to catch Smoke out. I also see Drupal back there, who had that made that mistake earlier, is also very close. Ooh, Stony almost losing control of his car there on the curb. Well, there's smooth recovery from Stony, but unfortunately he's not going to be able to make a move on Smoke now. Due to doing that. Same thing with hopping back to Drupal here now. Was very close to Great Ace there. But still not able to make a move on him there in that DRS zone. Oh, but Great Ace struggling coming out of that turn there. That is going to let Drupal go side by side with him. He's going to pull ahead of Great Ace. Yeah, Great Ace having a bad exit there. That is going to cost him the position. Sad to say. Drupal is going to move back up into the points after what happened. Doyle receives a 5-second penalty for corner cutting, and that is it. Doyle is out. Doyle is out of the sprint, and it looks like there is going to be a safety car here for the sprint for these last couple laps. Safety car is out. We might have another lap or two of racing, but for the next 2 laps or so, there's going to be safety car. J-Max receiving a driver penalty for speeding under a safety car. Well, like I was saying, yeah, I was surprised if there wasn't any safety cars here tonight. And we're not even in the full race yet, and we've already had a safety car, this time from Doyle, Firewater's own teammate. This is actually going to... Doyle actually hurting his teammate Firewater here in the long run, because now Fire is going to have to deal with Larry attacking him from behind once again when this safety car restart happens. And this is definitely going to be good for, you know, some of the other guys as well. But Vodka was pretty clearly taking the sprint race so far, but the safety car might change things up a little bit here now. This is going to let Smoke close the gap and have another run at Vodka. Same thing with Abrupt on Stony. But yeah, it's never over. Hopefully this doesn't discourage Doyle too much. You know, last season at Suzuka, we saw Great Ace DNF during the sprint race, but then go on to get podium at Suzuka for the full race. So anything's possible. You can definitely come back in the full race. Just because you have a bad sprint doesn't mean you're not gonna have a good full race. Watchman picking up another time penalty for multiple warnings under the safety car. Funny enough. He's already having a really rough time. Consistency is going to be key here tonight. I would guarantee it. Super easy to make mistakes here. And the sprint race has really proven it with both Druply and Wooly falling behind. But we shall see. No safety car restart yet. I would say probably at the end of this following lap. So I'm assuming most likely the final 2 laps of the sprint we will have the restart. And we'll get back into this. We see Wooly pitting once again. This is his second time pitting. Gonna be making a change to the softs, I guess, trying to see if he can make up the pace on people on the final 2 laps of the sprint, and maybe squeeze his way up into the points. Not a bad strat. Not a bad strat, because you never know, someone else could make mistakes. Or he could just catch some guys near the back off pace alone and potentially move up to around 8th if he wants to at least get a point from the sprint. Definitely still in the cards for him. Only person that's definitely looking like wraps for here so far for the sprint is Graybush, who has not pitted and is just going to stay out. But we are going to get things back underway soon. We should get the notifications coming up here very shortly about the safety car coming in, I would imagine. We see some trade-offs going on in the back. What is going on in the back here? Some guys with some sketchy stuff. And yep, safety car is going to be in this lap. Slim Uncle Larry. Everyone's all coming together here now. Everyone is all pretty much caught up there except for Graybush. Here we go. Coming around the final turn here now. We're about to get things back underway. Vodka already pulling ahead a little bit. Vodka's already caught him sleeping. They already caught Smoke and Stony sleeping, while meanwhile, we can see Fire already trying to make a run up on Abrupt. Slingshot taking position over Drooply, because Drooply making a severe error. That's going to drop him way far behind. Everyone else is going to move up a position. Wooly trying to make a move on J-Max here. Coming into this turn, both of them going side by side. Cuts in around the inside. Great move from Wooly there. Moves up into 9th, just ahead of both Alpine drivers. With Great Ace and J-Max. Watchman falling behind. Let's hop back up here now to Firewater, who's still behind Abrupt. Hasn't been able to get by. But we'll see what he can do here in the second sector. Looks like Drooply is catching up to the Alpines as well. Oh, but he messes up once again, and Watchman pulls ahead of Drooply. But Drooply's trying to take it back. Both these guys, ooh. Lots of stuff going on at the back here. A lot of these guys going head-to-head here. 4 cars going head-to-head here at the back with J-Max, Drooply, Greybush, and Watchman. This is absolute madness going on at the back right now. As you can see, oh, the Red Bull and Greybush pulling up, squeezing in between the Haas and the Alpha Tauri. Lots of madness going on. But we see Stony has messed up. Stony has lost control of his car. Was looking for like a top 4 finish here in the sprint, but now he's fallen all the way behind. Even the guys in the back are catching him here. Terrible turn of events for Stony, and now he's all the way at the back and looking like he's not even going to get points from the sprint race after being at the front the entire time. And there we go. Drooply is also out of the sprint race completely after all that. It's not even going to be any points for Drooply from the sprint race either. And then we have Firewater here, who's finally starting to catch Abrupt on this final race lap of the race, but gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. So that's going to be it for Firewater. He's probably also going to lose a position or two to Larry and Slim as well if he doesn't be careful. And there we go! Firewater spins out! Just like Stony has messed up terribly, had a perfect opportunity to get some points from the sprint. But just like Stony has lost it all the last lap of the sprint. So it's looking like it's going to be, unless he can get ahead of, but even with, he has a penalty though. So yeah, it's looking like wraps for Firewater here now, unfortunately. Definitely looking like wraps for Firewater. Meanwhile, both Mercedes have managed to pull into the points. 6th and 7th, Slim and Slingshot. If they keep this up, Slim also looking to make a move on Wooly Mixer. Come turn here, both of them going side by side. Wooly on the faster, soft compound tire. Slim, both of them getting very close there. Wooly not giving him enough room at all there. I don't know what that was. You gotta leave room. Wooly not leaving Slim any room there whatsoever for anything. Smoke picking up a 3-second time penalty though on the final lap of the race. So it looks like he might lose that position to his teammate Abrupt, but that might work out in the betterment for him. Let's see how that pays out. Oh, and Abrupt loses another position, Uncle Larry. So Vodka Victory gets pole. He starts from the front with Abrupt for the full length race. As we can see. Wow, what a sprint. So Vodka Victory and Abrupt will be starting from the front row. Both these rivals, even in the Drivers' Championship right now. Followed by Uncle Larry, who's going to be starting second row with Abrupt's teammate Smoke. Both of them looking really strong as well. Wow. Wow. A lot of mistakes there we saw at the very end of the sprint. Especially from Stony and Firewater. Both of them were near the front the entire time. And then made huge mistakes, just like Drooply and Wooly. But out of all of them, Wooly's was the earliest, so he was able to recover the most. Covered all the way back up into 5th. Whereas, as we can see, Drooply is going to be starting from the back with Doyle, followed by J-Max, Watchman, and Greybush, who were all fighting at the back there. Still a good recovery from Greybush, though. Stony and Firewater, after their mistakes, are going to be starting 10th and 9th. Great Ace, in the mix of things, was able to finish in 8th and get a point on the board for Alpine. Alpine's first point in PGR this season. Funny enough. And then the Mercedes of Slim and Slingshot. Great recovery from Slingshot there. 5 points for Mercedes right there. Wooly, great recovery for him as well. After that mistake. Going to be starting from 5th, just behind Larry and Smoke. So anything can happen here. Like I said, consistency is going to matter the most. And it looks like Vodka is still at top form, super consistent. Didn't miss a beat there in the entire sprint race. So Vodka definitely shooting for a third win. If Vodka wins here tonight, this will be his third win in a row in PGR this season. But as you can see, we also have Smoke just behind him. We also have Abrupt, Larry, and Smoke. So both those Ferraris are going to be clawing at him. Especially Abrupt, who has gotten very close to winning the past 2 races, but has missed out on it in the end. So if there's anyone who's super hungry to win here tonight, it's definitely Abrupt. So we'll see if Abrupt can win here tonight and potentially get his first victory in PGR in a very long time. But as always, this is when the drivers like to have their quick 5-minute intermission just to prepare themselves for the full-length race. So I will be back with you all in a few minutes to get into our full 28-lap race. Here we are back after that quick little intermission, guys. We're going to do a formation lap here. Set the grid. Here in Texas, setting the grid for the full race here at Circuit of the Americas. Had to do it at least once tonight. Shoutouts to Texas. But here we are for the full race. 28 laps. Just doing a quick formation lap here now. While we're waiting for drivers, let's check out everyone's strats. See what everyone's opting for. So anything can happen tonight. We could have an early safety car, late safety car, multiple safety cars. Don't know. So the strategy here tonight, you know, most nights we see people like last week at Monza. It's like either you're on mediums or you're on hards, you know. But tonight the strategy really is a shot in the wind. So you see people are all over the place. We got looks like four guys are up for the softs. First one up is Wooly. Wooly's gonna try to make a run at guys on the softs. Right at the gate, looks like. But then some of the guys at the back, like Greybush, Strupley, and Doyle, are also going on the softs. Most guys are going on the mediums, but we do see a couple hards. Firewater is going to be going on the hards, and as well as Larry, the leader of the race, Vodka. 3 of these guys are going to be starting on the hard tire, which is very similar to what Vodka did last week at Monza, where the hard tire ended up paying off for him. But will it work out this time? Who knows? Might not if there ends up being an early safety car. Everything will get thrown in shambles then. But this is Vodka. This is technically Vodka's first. This is his first pole of the season in PGR. He did not have poles the first 2 races, and he still won. So technically, he has pole this time. So everything is on Vodka's side for him to win another race here tonight. But of course, if the strategy, you know, if the safety cars don't work out from bad safety car luck and the strategy just doesn't pay off, then it could be a reversal this week. I'll have to wait and see. There's a lot of different contenders who could win here tonight. Here we go. Everyone's just getting in position, and we'll kick things off. Here we go. Racing at Circuit of the Americas here in Texas. It's lights out and away we go. Right off the start, we see Wooly on the softs moving up ahead of Smoke in the Ferrari, going side by side. Vodka taking lead of the race, still holding on to it, but Wooly on the soft tires is moving up to second, pulling ahead of Abrupt there, it looks like. Trying to make a run up, but like I said, those soft tires aren't going to last very long. He will have to pit before anyone else. But if he does get an early safety car, it could end up working out for him in the long run. We'll have to wait and see. But Wooly also pulling ahead of Vodka there, like I said, on the soft tires. Takes the lead of the race for the moment. Okay, everyone coming down this back straight here. See, the Alpine of Great Ace has now moved himself all the way up into 4th. Had a great start to the race. Has split the Ferraris now. But we see Larry not too far behind the Ferrari of Smoke. And his teammate Greybush has also pulled up to 7th as well. Both Mercedes falling behind a little bit. Smoke going to run a little wide there, so now both Red Bulls going side by side. Behind Smoke. Oh! But Greybush nudges Smoke there a little bit. I don't know if anyone else caught that. He did definitely nudge Smoke a little bit there, that's for sure. But both Red Bulls still holding on there, 6th and 7th. Slingshot falling behind, losing position to Stoney there now. Slim still in 8th though. Wooly has now lost lead of the race. 2 Vodka victory once again. Looks like we have our first mistake of the night. Yes, J-Max has gone off track there. He's now falling behind to the back. Once more, Smoke, though, has now lost another position, though, to Greybush in the Red Bull, actually. And it looks like Larry's in the Red Bull's also going to be trying to make a move on Smoke here now, once again. Vodka and Wooly still fighting up at the front. Crazy enough to see. Smoke still fighting with these Red Bulls. Everyone's going a bit all over the place here. Wheel contact there between Larry. Larry dropping behind several places there now, all the way back into 12th. Huge mistakes there from Larry. Made a little bit of contact there with Slingshot, but not too much. But had to yield. There was a lot of madness going on. Can't even keep up with it all. Everyone's all super bunched up here right now. They're hard to keep track of all the madness. Like I said, Wooly and Vodka still going side by side here at the front of the race. Fighting for the lead, but Abrupt and Great Ace not too far behind. Followed by everyone else. Next pack just behind them with Smoke and Greybush. Larry now all the way back in 12th after what happened. Wooly trying to take the lead from Vodka here once again, but Vodka is fighting him every step of the way. As you can see, Drupally has now moved himself up into 7th, but he is on those softs. So he will have to pit before a lot of these other guys. See now coming into this next lap, we're about to have DRS here. About to have DRS here very soon. Not for this zone, but for the next one. So we'll see if Great Ace can make a move on Abrupt. Coming out of nowhere. Didn't have a great sprint, but now he had a great start to this full race. See at the back here now, Firewater is the next victim of tonight. He's now spun and fallen all the way to the back, even behind J-Max, who messed up earlier. So Firewater's now all the back. It's been a real rough race for the McLaren drivers here tonight. We now have Stoney and Drupally and Greybush all here, back to back right now. Drupally gonna be looking to make a move on Greybush here, coming up to this DRS zone, I would imagine. Both of them on the soft top. And he is going side by side there. We see Vodka and Wooly are still going at it up at the front once again. Both of them going side by side, wheel to wheel. Crazy battles between Wooly and Vodka here. Which is nuts. It just shows how insane Vodka is, considering he's on the hard tires. Wooly on the softs, but Vodka's still able to go toe to toe with him. And you see Great Ace is still here, just waiting to pick his moment to strike. Wooly sets the fastest lap of the session for the time being, but Smoke immediately takes it with that 140.9. Smoke is also flying as well, and he's on the mediums. Great Ace having a little bit rough time with that uphill turn there. It's going to lose him some time. Too abrupt ahead of him. Firewater, J-Max messed up once again, so Firewater's going to pull ahead in our position there at the back. Now have Slim and Slingshot, both Mercedes, in 9th and 10th. Still holding on, though, both trying to pull ahead of Greybush. But he will have to pit before them regardless on the softs. But now Smoke is in 5th, Drupally's in 6th, both of them trying to catch up to Abrupt and Great Ace. But as we see, we have our next, looks like we have our next mistake of the night. And it's an uncharacteristic mistake from Slim in the Mercedes. Can't really fault him for it. Has now fallen to the back as well. He's going to have to hope for some good luck here tonight. He's at the back down 13th. And Watchman. Teammate Slingshot still holding on to the points though, but now he has Larry coming behind him trying to gain a position on him as well. Then you got this Mercedes caught between these two Red Bulls. Wooly's still holding the lead of this race, but again, Vodka trying not to wear out his tires too much. You know, he knows he has to think about the long fight. And fighting Wooly full on the softs is not a great idea. Better off, you know, doing what he did, just wearing out his softs a little bit, making him have to pit a bit faster, a bit sooner than they normally would. But Slingshot getting really close behind Greybush. Both of these guys had some drama last week at Monza. And these guys are head-to-head once again. Wheel to wheel. Slingshot's definitely caught in a Red Bull sandwich right now. Trying to choose his moment. It's been really hard for him to decide. We'll see going into this DRS zone here if he could potentially make a move on Greybush. We can see Doyle, who's also on the softs, is now starting to catch up to this train as well, with Watchman just behind. Here we go into the DRS zone. Slingshot going side by side with Greybush, making the move on him pretty smoothly there. Good stuff to Slingshot. Slick move from him. Greybush turning in a little bit there. Now we have Doyle relenting, losing position to Watchman there. As we see, Stoney is now our next victim of the night. He's now messed up. He's spun. Entering the third sector there. He's managed to recover it. He's back on track, but he's there between the two Red Bulls now. He's in Slingshot's position. Slingshot's moved ahead of the Red Bulls up into 7th. Stoney now in 9th after that mistake he made. Stoney making a lot of mistakes. We saw in the sprint race, he was also made a mistake there at the end. So Stoney looks faster tonight, but he's also making a lot of mistakes. Our first real pit here of the full race we have from Drupely. Drupely pulling into the pits, getting off these soft compound tires. We'll see what he comes out on, see if he's going to opt for the hards and the mediums. What's his idea? He's going for the mediums, okay. Anticipating that there'll probably be a safety car and he'll probably have to pit once again. But we'll have to wait and see what happens. Meanwhile, up at the front, Smoke, like I said, now just behind. Gray is trying to get ahead of him, while meanwhile Abrupt's trying to get ahead of Vodka. So wait and see what happens there. Watchman now up into the points in 9th, but he does have a penalty. Stoney, even after that mistake, is still holding on to 7th, so good stuff to him. Still keeping it together even after that big mistake. Slingshot now has moved himself up in 6th. Slim's still in 12th after that big mistake he made earlier. Here we go. Smoke just behind Great Ace in the Alpine. Really wants to have a good finish here and show what he's capable of. So we all know he is after his performance last season. Watchman now picking up another 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Just like last weekend at Monza, these penalties are all going to cost him dearly if he's not careful. Has to keep it together. Here we go into the DRS zone. Let's see if Smoke can make a move on Great Ace here now. His light is blinking, but Smoke is also pretty much out of ERS as well. So both of these guys, none of them have very much battery left right now. And there we go. Doyle is now pitted as well. His teammate Firewater also out on the hards now. Or sorry, has been out on the hards, I should say. But he's going to come out in the mediums. Do the same thing that Drupely did. Good move, good move. But we're still just going to hold on with Smoke and see going into another DRS zone. He can make another move on Great Ace, but Firewater now picks up a 3-second time penalty. So that's going to hurt his chances now going forward. But here we go. Smoke looking to make the move, trying to get alongside Great Ace, but to no avail. Bumps Great Ace a little bit there. Definitely avoidable. Doesn't hurt Great Ace too much though. Great Ace still looking fine. Still fine. Didn't affect Great Ace too much. But Smoke definitely gave Great Ace a little love tap there. Definitely broke a little too late. Pulled a bit of a Stoney there. But not too bad to where it really affected Great Ace. But he has another DRS zone coming up here. Another opportunity to pull ahead of the Alpine. Slingshot now in 7th. He picks up a free second time penalty as well. Moves to the left super quick to try to pull a fast one on Great Ace, but still to no avail for Smoke. Smoke really, it looks like Smoke's really getting agitated being stuck behind Great Ace here. He's doing some real uncharacteristic things you normally don't see from this guy. Such as that little love tap. You don't really see those things. But Drupally now takes fast slap of the race on the mediums for the time being. We now have Greybush and J-Max going into the pits. Greybush has come out on hards. See what J-Max is doing here shortly. Here we go, another DRS zone, another opportunity for Smoke to pull out a Great Ace. Super close to him now. Definitely a pretty clean opportunity. Moving alongside to the left of Great Ace. Pretty clear opportunity here, even though both of them are low on ERS. You know, the ERS prevails. Smoke is able to just barely get ahead of Great Ace there. But as we were talking about all that, Vodka has now fallen down into third. Like literally, as we were watching all that go down, Vodka has now gone down to third under Abrupt. Abrupt's now trying to make a move on Wooly. But there we go. Wooly has now pulled into the pits. He's decided now is the time to get off the soft tires. Watchman picks up a 10-second time penalty over corner cutting. That's going to be huge. That's really going to affect him. Going to be really hard for him to finish in the points now after a penalty like that. Man, this is just a penalty machine, just constantly picking up penalties so far this season. Let's see here now with Firewater, who's near the back in DRS range of Slim. Looking to make a move on the Mercedes driver, pulls up alongside him to the left. Makes it pretty clean, goes in around the inside, and there we go. And Wooly makes a mistake there as well. Wooly now behind Slim and Firewater, but Firewater pulls ahead of Slim. Stoney, who's now recovered and moved back up into 5th, does receive a penalty though, but he spins out once again. The second mistake of the night here for Stoney. He's had some good pace here, but he just is super inconsistent, and that's really going to hurt him in the end. You know, could have had a top 5 finish, potentially, but yeah, super in here tonight at this track. Definitely catching him off guard, that's for sure. But now we have Uncle Larry, who makes the move smoothly on Slingshot in the DRS zone. Pulls ahead of him, good stuff to Larry, moves up into 5th. None of these guys at the front with any penalties yet, though. So that's definitely going to help them as the race progresses. See Firewater now. Watchman going wide off the track, so Firewater's going to take that. He's going to pull ahead. Same thing with Slim. Slim also pulling ahead of Watchman. Watchman going wide off track there once again. Looks like Watchman doesn't know like some of the braking points or something on the track. He's just going way wide. Probably why he's picked up so many of these penalties already. He's just missing so many points here. See, going way wide once again. Like, this guy's just missing the mark here. But he decides to go into the pits. Thinking it might be his tires. Wants to get off them. But here we go now up at the front. Like I said, Grade A still 4th, still just behind Smoke. Abrupt, after Wooly pitted, Abrupt is now leading the race, followed by Vodka. Wooly has now come out on the hards, down in 9th at the moment. See how his race progresses, but Smoke loses a position, makes a mistake, didn't really catch what it was, but falls behind there. Same thing, oh, Abrupt going wheel to wheel here with Vodka at the front for the lead of the race. Abrupt lost the position there for a second, but quickly regained it. But yeah, I was so caught up in what Smoke was doing. Smoke also fell behind there, lost positions to not only Grace, but Larry as well. Here's the thing, Grace and Abrupt on the medium, so they will most likely have to pit before Vodka and Larry. Like we said, we'll see how this goes. 18 laps remaining. Going into the DRS zone now. Ivanka is a little bit far back. Still not looking like he's going to be able to make a move on Abrupt. Still just a little too far away to make the move, unfortunately. A little bit of yellow flag, someone going wide down there in Sector 2. We also have Slingshot now, who, like I said, has a penalty, but he's in 6th just behind Smoke, who's just behind Larry. Both of these guys have caught up now. See what they're able to do. Going up to this next DRS zone. But Druply and Smoke both picking up 3-second time penalties. So now they've now also been added to the list of penalties. But Stoney has messed up once again. That's a free strikes. Free strikes, you're out kind of thing. And this one has really affected him the most. Now he's all the way down in 11th behind Slim. This has now put Stoney completely out of the points once again. To me, it just looks like Stoney is really struggling here tonight, unfortunately. But now we have Larry going side by side with the Ferrari of Smoke, but still holds the position. Slingshot just behind them. Great aerial view here. But yeah, rough for Stoney. He's been making so many mistakes here tonight. This has definitely not been Stoney's night. He's had the pace, but the consistency has just not been there. But meanwhile, Vodka right behind Abrupt now. Both of them going wheel to wheel. Down into this fast-paced first sector. And Vodka takes the lead from Abrupt. Just like that. Both of these guys fighting for the win here tonight. Abrupt really wants take the win here tonight. Well, meanwhile, Vodka wants to extend his lead. As we see now, after his mistake, Stoney has now decided to pit to his next set of tires. But we do have the DRS zone coming up here for Smoke on Larry in the Red Bull. Let's see if Smoke can make a move on him here in the DRS zone. Watson picks up another penalty. This is looking really rough. Looking really rough for him as well. Looks like it might pretty much be over for him. Hasn't really done anything for his teammate Vodka to help him in the constructors yet so far. Sorry to say. There we go. Great Ace, who was on the medium tires now, pulls into the pits. Same thing with Smoke. Both Great Ace and Smoke going into the pits now, since both of them were on the mediums. Abrupt is staying out, though. But there we go. Great Ace swaps to the hards. Slingshot also into the pits. I'm assuming Smoke and Slingshot also going to be swapping to the hard tire as well. Let's see what happens coming off of this. See 3 of them. Yeah, all 3 of them coming out in the hard tires now. We'll see how that affects their race going forward for the second half of the race. Halfway in here now. Vodka now with the lead of the race to Abrupt by about a second and a half, followed by Larry and Firewater. But again, all these guys have still yet to pit. So the guy currently in the front who hasn't pit yet is Wooly, who's on these 4-lap old hard tires. But Druply, like I said, he has penalties, but he's on these 7-lap old mediums. Looks like he might have to go for a 2-stop here tonight. That's what it's looking like. It's looking like a 2-stop here tonight for Druply. But he is now behind his rival Wooly. Both these guys joined the league together. And it really looks like he wants to have another go at him like he did on the first lap of the race earlier. There we go. Abrupt now also pulling into the pits. He's going to come out in the hards as now. Sorry. He's going to come out in the hards as well now, I'd imagine. See what he can do. Yeah. Abrupt coming out in the hards. Coming in the DRS zone here now. Stoney picking up a 3-second time penalty, just making it even worse for the Alfa Romeo driver. Again, looking pretty rough for Stoney and Watchman here now going forward. Drupally still unable to make the move on Wooly. But they've gotten very close now. We'll have to wait and see for the next DRS zone. That is Slim, though, also going into the pits. Slim coming out on the hard tires as well. Yellow flags in Sector 3, though. Looks like Watchman really struggling. Looks like he had some issues there. But yeah, now Watchman's all the way down there fighting. Yeah, Watchman pulls into the pits. And yet, Watchman has retired from the race in the pits. You saw it here. We were on board with him. Yeah, and he waited till he was crossed the line, too. It's good stuff to him for doing that. Proper race procedure. But now we have a DRS train going here between Drupally at the back, followed by Woolly, Firewater, and Abrupt. All these guys fighting for the podium here tonight. It would seem, though Firewater does still need to pit, and Drupally is on these mediums, so he will have to pit again as well. But of course, Woolly's tires are going to get more worn before everyone else, though. Something else to keep in mind. But yeah, Woolly here going side by side with Firewater now. Looking to get past him. But he has to watch out. He also has Drupally right behind. But there we go. He's into the pits. He's getting off his hard tires. Drupally now going to pull ahead as well. Same thing with Great Ace, who's out on his hards now as well. For his second stint of the race. Had a great first stint. Yeah, great first stint from Great Ace, honestly. On those mediums, we'll see what he can do on the hards. Firewater now is going to be coming out in his mediums, though. Going to be trying to make a run up the pack. We'll have to wait and see what he's able to accomplish. Mediums to the end. He's going to have to pit again. Potentially a second set of softs for the final portion of the race. So let's see what he can do, if he's able to catch Woolly or not. But right now, Vodka with a pretty clear lead of the race. But again, him and Uncle Larry, neither of them have pit yet. Both of them on 14-lap-old hards have not pit yet. Both just waiting for their time to pit, waiting to see like when they actually start losing time to people, you know. Then that will be their time to pit. But for now they're both holding on, just waiting. There we go. J-Max pulling into the pits now as well at the back there, we see. And like I said earlier, I didn't really touch on it too much, but yes, Watchman is out of the race. Watchman, our first DNF of the race, though he did retire into the pits. He was having a real tough time, and he had all those penalties. It was looking pretty much wraps for him anyway. But there we go. Like I said, Drupally wasn't going to be able to hold out on those medium tires much longer. It was pretty obvious he was going to have to pit a second time, and now he has pit for the hard tires, actually. He's pit earlier than I anticipated, and he has gone for the hard tires instead of waiting later to go for a second set of mediums. So Drupally is coming back out on the hard tires to finish the race. And it looks like he's going to be coming out just behind Firewater there. J-Max picking up another penalty. Looks like his race pretty much screwed as well now. Followed by Stoney, Slim, and Graybush, who, like I said, still made all those mistakes earlier. And I'm trying to do whatever they can to recover it. Doyle in the McLaren right now, actually currently in the points, but he's on those similar to Drupally was that time. He is also on those medium tires, so he is going to have to pit once more as well. We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see how this shifts whenever Vodka and Larry decide to pit. Vodka, you know, was fighting Wooly earlier, but has been pretty much holding the front here for most of this race. We'll see how this goes. The Firewater now on these fresh mediums is starting to catch up to Slingshot a little bit here now. Wants to move up another position. While we're waiting, let's just check out these penalties real quick to see how everyone's doing. Yeah, so all these guys here in the middle, they all have 3 seconds of penalties. And then in the back, you can see Stoney and J-Max both with 6 seconds. So all these guys are pretty even in terms of penalties. So, yeah, definitely possible for Firewater and Drupally to gain some more positions here. We'll just have to wait and see. Firewater in DRS zone here now. Looking to make a move on Slingshot just ahead. But just a little too far away to get it off that DRS zone there. Just not quite. Yellow flag in sector 3. Looks like Graybush had some trouble there going into the pits. He received a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. But Graybush has pitted once again. And that's it. It looks like J-Max, oh, and Graybush. Except Graybush, both J-Max and Graybush, out of the race at once. But Graybush retired from the race in the pits there. So that's all fine and dandy. Vodka Victory now taking this opportunity to pull into the pits just in case something was going down. He saw those yellow flags and was like, okay, I'm getting the fuck out of this now. So he's coming out in the mediums to finish the race. Larry's still waiting though. Larry has not pit yet. Larry's going to be going another lap. Hop up to Abrupt here now, who's just behind Vodka. He just came out of the pits. But yeah, so Graybush and J-Max are both out of the race. Graybush retired in the pits, but it looks like J-Max retired out on track. That's what it looked like to me. It looked like J-Max retired from the race or something out on track up on that first turn, if I'm not mistaken. Not really sure what happened there. Doyle pulling into the pits once more as well. He's going to be coming out in the hard tires to finish. Hopping back to Drupally now, who's just right behind Slingshot still. Trying to pull ahead of him. But yeah, so we got 12 drivers left now for the final 10 laps of the race. Now that Graybush and J-Max are out. But yeah, I don't know if anyone told J-Max, but if that was a retire out on track, not supposed to do that, bud. If you're watching the stream, we highly encourage, aka mandatory for guys, if you're going to retire from the race because you're just fed up with it, you know, you're done. Pretty important to retire in the pits, because otherwise you might cause a safety car that can affect everyone else's race and the championship as a whole. So, you know, you got lucky that time though, no safety car. Yeah, so that's Graybush and J-Max out of the race. 12 guys remaining, which has now moved Stoney back up, looking like he's back up in the points. But still not over for Slim, though. Slim could definitely still, due to these penalties and all that, if Slim can close the gap, Slim could definitely still finish in the points with his teammate Slingshot. Just have to wait and see. But right now, ooh, looks like Vodka retaking lead of the race from Larry. Larry still out on these 18-lap-old hards, still has not pit yet this race. We'll have to wait and see when Larry decides to pit. I don't know why he hasn't pit yet. But yeah, for some reason Larry has still not pit yet. Don't know what his plan is. But now he has the threat of Abrupt and Wooly both behind him. Except Abrupt on 5-lap-old hards, Wooly on 10 laps. But judging by this, it looks like Larry might be going for the softs to finish the race. As opposed to the mediums, which could be very interesting. As you can see, Wooly now just behind Abrupt, but similar, very similar to Monza here. Same thing last week. Wooly was just behind Abrupt. But We can see once again, oh, both drivers going side by side. Wooly still unable to pull ahead of Abrupt. But as we can see once again, Wooly just not managing his ERS nearly as good as Abrupt. As you can see, Abrupt still with like 70% ERS here. Wooly is pretty much almost empty tank here once again. And that might end up being his downfall here. But of course his tires as well, because like I said, his hards are already 10 laps old. So it's going to be rough for Wooly either way. But there we go. Larry has now pulled into the pits. We'll see if he's coming out on the softs to finish the race. If he thinks he can take the softs to the end. And yep, he is. Larry is coming out on the softs to finish the race. Wooly here trying to make a move on Abrupt. Both of them going side by side coming out of that DRS zone. But Abrupt still holding the lead. But Wooly has now moved up into the podium positions though. But like we said, Wooly is on these 11-lap-old hards. Well, meanwhile, there's guys such as Larry behind Wooly who are on much faster tires for the final 8 laps of this race. So the question is, can these guys who are behind Wooly, can they manage to hold, you know, hards? That's what we're going to have to hold on and see. Meanwhile, Wooly's still behind Abrupt, like he's still fighting him for that second position. But Vodka at the front once again, trying to wrap things up, get his third win of the season, trying to win 3 in a row. You know, clean her up here. So we'll see. Have to wait and see. And here we go, Wooly and Abrupt going side by side up to the DRS zone. Wooly able to pull ahead of him there. Wooly takes the second position away from Abrupt. Though Wooly, like I said, is on the much older tires than Abrupt, and Abrupt has much more ERS stored up than him though. So things are definitely still looking in Abrupt's favor though overall, I have to say. But there we go, Uncle Larry now picks up his first of the session. Though he is now in 5th. Trying to catch up to the next person ahead of him is Great Ace, who's having a splendid race so far. 7 laps remaining. 8-lap-old hards, they're similar to Abrupt. But now he is going to have Larry, who's going to be trying to catch him on the faster tire that he's going to have to watch out for. Abrupt still unable to catch Wooly though. Hopping back here, we have Slingshot, who's just behind Smoke still. Still looking to catch him. Unfortunately, Slim has actually lost time to Stoney, so unless one of them makes a mistake, it's looking like Slim might not finish in the points here tonight. Though he did still get points in the sprint, so it won't be a completely pointless weekend for Slim though, and Mercedes as a whole. So they have to be thankful for that. So we'll have to wait and see what goes down here. We got 6 laps remaining of this race though. Oh, and there we go though. That's going to cost him dearly now. That's put him in a bit of a rough spot. We have a yellow sector free though. Looks like, yep, Smoke is our next next victim of the night in the Ferrari. He had such a strong opening sprint race in the first stint. And Slingshot. Race. So yeah, unfortunately. And he is going to be coming out in the softs, like I said, to finish the race. Trying to gain back on people that way after his mistake. But he's only got 6 laps to do it. It's getting pretty tight there. And he's going to be coming out all the way in the back, even behind Doyle. So yeah, it's unfortunate looking kind of wraps here for Smoke. An unfortunate end to his race, honestly. He had a really solid start, and it just all fell apart there at the end. He's had a really rough start to the season with Ferrari, unfortunately. But here we go now. Larry has now caught up to the back of Great Ace. And this means even more now that Great Ace has accumulated that penalty. You know, now that Great Ace has that penalty, it's basically even the playing field between him and the guys behind him, who all had penalties. And Larry is going to be looking to make that overtake here now, going into the DRS zone. And he's going to do it pretty easily, going side by side with Great Ace. Not even, you know, using much ERS there. Pretty much all DRS. Has a lot more saved up than Great Ace. More yellows in sector 2 and 3. I guess that's Doyle. Yeah, Doyle going off there. Just going to give Smoke the ability to catch up to him a little bit there at the back, as he's trying to fight his way back into the points after his mistake. But now Great Ace is going to be trying to fight for that 4th position with Larry as well. Though Larry is on those soft tires, so it's going to be really difficult. And like I said, all these guys have penalties, while meanwhile, the guys at the front don't. More yellows in sector 2 and 3. Oh, our first mistake from Vodka Victory in the first season of can't even talk. In the 9th season of PGR, first mistake from our championship leader at the moment, Vodka Victory. Vodka Victory loses the lead of the race. He's held it for the whole night. And now Vodka Victory has dropped down to 3rd behind Abrupt and Wooly, though he still has 5 laps to regain the lead, and he is on the faster tire. Wooly on these 15-lap-old hards, Abrupt on these 10-lap-old hards. Definitely doable for Vodka to retake the lead here, though. Definitely doable. Though that is his first mistake of the season. This guy has been pretty consistent so far. So that's his first big mistake. He had a big mistake here last season as well, which might have actually cost him the championship last season. So we'll see what happens here now. We'll see if he's able to close the gap to the 2 guys ahead of him who are on the slower tires. Vodka definitely the person to watch right now. He is flying though. Trying to close to Abrupt first. 4 laps remaining. Let's wait and see what Vodka can do. Again, still a bit too far away to get anything off the DRS zone. But he is now caught up right behind Abrupt once more. So like I said, even after that mistake, Vodka still has time to make it up and potentially take the lead of the race back from Wooly and Abrupt. Well, meanwhile, Firewater, it looks like, has now gotten past Great Ace, both of them going side by side. Firewater trying to take a position back from Great Ace. Well, meanwhile, Great Ace also has to deal with Drooply, who's just behind as well. So both of them, 3 of them all caught in a sandwich. Well, there we go. Wooly with a huge mistake. He had the lead of the race. Wooly Mixer and the Aston Martin had the lead of the race from Vodka and Abrupt. But coming into our 4th last lap of the race, he lost it there on the final turn of the track. And that's what I was saying. Wooly on these 16-lap-old hards, I feel like the tire wear finally started to get to him there. You know, it's like when you get into that position where you're leading, like you really don't want to pit, but I knew it. Like, he's on these 16-lap-old hards. There was no way he was going to take them without risking a huge mistake like that. And that's cost him. Now, Wooly could still finish with a podium here. but he's going to have to deal with Larry, who's on the softs, and quickly gaining now that he's gotten past Great Ace. So it's going to be a fight for Wooly to at least stay on that podium. But now, like we said, Vodka has retaken the lead of the race, following with Abrupt. Stoney now picking up another time penalty. And there we go. Druply has now taken a position on Great Ace as well. Great Ace now in 7th. And it's looking like that, if he continues this way, that'll be most likely where he finishes. Still not a bad race, though. Best race for Great Ace so far this season. Much better than last week at Monza. But 3 laps remaining of the race. Things have been pretty intense here. Larry, as you can see, is slowly gaining time on Wooly here. But he does have that penalty, though, so, like, not only will he have to get by Wooly, but he'll also have to hope either A, Wooly gets a penalty before the end, or he's able to close a 3-second gap to Wooly. But, yeah, Wooly was leading the race there, made a huge mistake, spun. But you know what? Vodka made a mistake, too, and Vodka's recovered it. Because he just had the better strategy. As you can see, Vodka on those 8-lap old mediums just flying ahead once more. But regardless, this is looking like this could be, in only his 2nd race in PGR Season 9, this could be Wooly's first finish on the podium here in PGR. He was hoping for a win, but a podium is still nothing to scoff at. You know, his friend Druply with 2 podiums in the previous 2 races of the season. And now it's, you know, Wooly with a 4th place finish last week at Monza. Just barely missing out on podium to Abrupt, and it looks like he's shooting for a podium here now as well, as long as he can keep Uncle Larry at bay. So we'll have to hold on and see. Meanwhile, it's looking like still a double points finish for Mercedes, 8th and 10th. So points in the sprint and points in the full race for Mercedes, so good stuff to them. It's looking like here, 2 laps remaining. But there we go. Uncle Larry picks up another 3-second time penalty, though. This might actually lose him some positions here now. That might be what costs him, since he has Firewater and Druply both gaining on him. If we take a look at the penalties here now, 6 seconds to everyone behind him with the 3 seconds. Yeah, this could definitely cost Larry some positions to Firewater and Druply here on the final 2 laps of the race, so we're going to hold on with him here. But good stuff to Stoney, though, who even after all the mistakes he made earlier in the race, still looking for a points finish. Like, crazy stuff. Crazy stuff from Stoney. But yeah, going into the DRS zone here now, Druply just behind Firewater wants to gain that position on him. Hoping that he can have a bit more pace than Firewater's 12-lap old mediums. Literally just behind him here. Coming into the final sector. Let's see, coming around this turn. We're heading into the final lap of the race here now. Vodka, though, with a 2-second lead to Abrupt. Druply goes a bit wide there, though. That is going to cost him. Oh, but there we go! Huge mistake! Uncle Larry loses it on the final turn, leading into the final lap of the race. Uncle Larry spins and loses his front wing there. Oh my goodness, what a huge points loss for Red Bull and Uncle Larry there. Gets passed by Great Ace there as well. Doesn't gotta worry about anyone else behind him. Just has to get across the finish line here. But wow, huge loss of points there for Larry. looking like he could have had, especially since he has a 6-second penalty. Yeah, and there we go. Great ace ahead of him. Also picks up 3-second time penalty. So right now at this point, if you're Larry, you're just trying to finish the race and get home safe with those 7 seconds. But here we go. Drupal's now just behind Firewater. He wants to potentially gain another position here. This is going to be his last DRS chance to do it. Let's see what he can do. Trying to move in along the right of Firewater. Both of them going side by side. Who's going to take the lead? It looks like it's Drupal. Drupal pulling ahead of Firewater there, but Firewater squeezing in just as soon as it happens. Pulling ahead of Drupal. But it looks like Drupal ran Firewater off there. To me personally, I mean, that's what it looked like to me personally. It looked like Drupal ran Firewater off there. Kind of rough, but Firewater ended up coming back ahead once more again, so it didn't really matter. Both of them are going side by side once again. Both of them fighting for fourth here. Coming up to the line. Your race winner has already been decided. Vodka Victory is your race winner for Circuit of the Americas for the American Grand Prix. Vodka Victory wins his third race in a row here in PGR Season 9. Absolute dominance from him. Good stuff. Followed by Abrupt, just barely missing out on a win once again to Vodka. Another second place finish. But that is 3 podiums in a row for the Ferrari driver. Abrupt is still driving out of his mind this season so far. And then congratulations to Wooly Mixer, who we interviewed earlier with his first podium, his second race in PGR, and his first podium, just like that. Went 4th in his first race and 3rd in his second race. Fighting for a win already. Good stuff to him. And then followed by, looks like Firewater managing to squeeze it out over Drupal there. 4th and 5th for Firewater and Drupal. And then, no pun intended, Great Ace to, had a great ace. Sorry. Great Ace had a great race here tonight. Much better than last week at Monza. Finishing in 6th, just ahead of Larry, due to Larry's mistakes. There, Larry definitely could have had a better finish there. Was shooting for like a 4th place finish, but fell a bit short there near the end on the softs. But no, great race for the Alpine driver, finishing in 6th. Who's the game going to give driver of the day to? They're curious. Game giving driver of the day to Drupal after he had to start so far back and fought his way up. Yeah, me personally, I mean, I'm going to have to think for a second on who I would give driver of the day to. But yeah, congratulations once again to our race winner, Vodka Victory. 3 wins in a row for him, winning all 3 races of the season so far. And this was his first pole of the season. Pretty solid stuff. Gotta give credit though to Abrupt, though. Also had a really consistent race. Super strong this season so far. And Wooly for his first podium in PGR, and still getting podium even after those mistakes he made. I mean, good stuff to him. We'll take a look at our standings here, see who we think should have driver of the day. I mean, if we look at the race here, there he fell off a little bit with that mistake at the end. Great Ace starting to finish at 6th. I mean, there's definitely an argument to be made for Firewater. The man had a pretty solid drive, but for me personally, I have to give driver of the day, just like the game. Yeah, I have to give driver of the day to Drupal. Started right back after having a terrible sprint race and managed to recover it and get 5th in the full race at a track he wasn't even super confident in. So good stuff to Drupal, driver of the day. But before we end things off here tonight, let's get Vodka Victory, Abrupt, and Wooly in here for a quick post-race interview. Hello, hello.
What up, what up? Yo, yo,
So,
yo.
what an exciting race,
Hello.
fellas. That was intense all the way through. Pretty much battles
Very
going,
intense.
very intense. Battles
So,
going on throughout the whole race. Let's start off like always with Vodka, your third win in a row, buddy. How are you feeling, man? I mean, you made that little mistake there, but you were on you had the better strategy, you had the faster tire, and you're able to recover it. How did you feel there near the end?
What mistake? Yeah, man. Again, a lot of people were struggling with this track. Um, and I don't know. Again, I put my head down and practice for consistency. Again, if you, the turtle wins the race, you know. When you practice, I don't go for fastest lap. I just go to make sure I get all my turns correct. And yeah, I had a mistake, and I was ready to take second place, but then unfortunately, Wooly had his little mix up there. But yeah, I mean, win's a win at the end of the day. I'm having fun. 3 races in, but like 20 or 19 left to go. So let's go.
Yeah, man, definitely shooting for that. The one-man army definitely shooting for that championship win here this season. Good stuff to you, man. Once again, be there exciting next week to see you at Baku, where you had your first pole in PGR last season. So definitely looking forward to that. We'll see how that turns out. That's a crazy race as well. But following up now with Abrupt, man, who we cannot disregard how crazy of an uphill journey this has been for you since the start of last season, with the beginning of everyone getting used to this game. And now you've been on the podium 3 times in a row, man. Like, obviously, I know you're a bit disappointed because, you're shooting for the win and just barely missing out on it. But, like, how does it feel knowing, like, how far you've come on F122 over the course of the past 2 seasons?
feels great, man. There's a lot of fast guys out here, so yeah, I'm definitely feeling good with the Ferrari for sure. It's a big step from the Williams, no doubt.
Yeah,
And
it
then
is. Yeah, it's a
catching,
big step up.
trying to catch vodka is a damn chore. I'm gonna tell you what. Keep trying to pick different strategies than him and seeing if that works, and apparently it's not working.
No, but regardless, though, like Vago was saying, though, man, this is a track where a lot of people were struggling, and it seemed like though you didn't really make any mistakes here tonight, though. Like that must have felt great, though, man, because everyone else like was making mistakes all over the place. So
It's like I said, man, you gotta stay consistent to be up front. I mean, if you make mistakes, you're gonna lose places. I mean, that's all there is to it, and you gotta fight your way back.
yeah,
And it's hard to do when you've already started, you know what I mean? You're 8
mm-hmm,
laps in a race. I mean, it's hard to get back up there now. Everybody's moving.
right, exactly. But no, good stuff to you, though, man. Up there on the podium once again. Definitely
Thank you,
back in
thank you.
form. Definitely back in form. More like season 7 Abrupt. For sure. The Ferrari definitely suits you, man. Seeing you in the red, really happy to see you up there. Hopefully, like I said, maybe in one of the coming weekends, we'll see you on the top step of the podium. Only
Yeah,
time will
it'd be
tell.
nice, that's for sure.
Only time will tell. I'll have to wait and see. But of
I'll
course,
make you work for it, if anything.
Oh, I know. I know. I'm waiting to get to the track that we're both kind of really even at, so.
mhm. But to end things off here, obviously we got to talk to Wooly, man. We were talking to you in the pre-race, and now, it's unfortunate the mistake you made at the end there. You potentially could have even had the win, but, still only your second race in PGR, and you're already on the podium. Like, how does that feel, man? To already be up there fighting for wins.
Well, I reckon anyone would be excited to be up the front first, like racing people like Vodka, Abrupt, and challenging for podiums. But I feel like I maximized all I could this weekend, and it was good battling up the front.
Yeah, you could tell those hards. You must have been struggling on those hards, right? Because they definitely weren't going to last till the
Yeah, no,
to,
they
to
they were
end
pretty
there.
much done. Those softs and I tried to go for an aggressive strategy, and by the end, those softs and hards were done.
Yeah, man. But as I was saying in the pre-race, you had that fourth place at Monza. Now you've managed to fight up for that. Even after that mistake, you still got podium here tonight at Coda. You know, coming up, we got like Baku, Portugal, Abu Dhabi. Are you feeling comfortable for like Abrupt said, maybe even being on, you know, fighting for a win here as well, like for one of these races coming up?
As long as it's not Portugal, then I should be good.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Similar here, it's a very tough one as well. But no, great to see you and Drupally, new guys up here fighting for wins and fighting for podiums as well. Always nice to see. And like I said to you in the pre-race, you know, there's still, like Vodka said, there's still 19 races to go or something. So yeah, still lots to be done. Lots of different tracks that people either love or hate, you know.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna be racing Portugal. I refuse to race that track.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes, though, man. No, good stuff to you. Good stuff to everyone here tonight, especially you three on the podium. Coming from the comms booth, I could see everyone's mistakes going on, but like you guys just kept trucking. You know, it's like it didn't really affect you that much, even if there was like a little mistake. It was like, oh, okay, we keep moving. You know, didn't let it get to you too much. So this is a tough track. Not a lot of people are big fans of this track, I wouldn't say. But it's done now. It's done for the season. Just, you know, put it in the box. Move on to next week at Baku.
Yes,
So yeah,
sir.
good stuff. So yeah, good stuff, guys. Thanks for joining me again for another post-race interview. Abrupt and Vodka. Two of you guys looking really strong this season. I'm assuming I'll be talking to you again on future post-race interviews.
I guess we'll see, man. Next week's another day.
Yes, sir. Sir.
Yeah, but
Racing guys.
yeah, next weekend, anyone who's watching will be at Baku for the fourth race of season 9 of PGR. Same time as always, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm your host, Sidonia Muse, and I'll see you guys next weekend, Saturday night at Baku.
Thanks for having us, man. Have a good one. I'll see you next week, hopefully.
Yeah. Yeah, cheers.
Hey, guys have a good night.